On September 26th, Wrath of the Lich King Classic will be released, which means that we only have 2 to 4 weeks until pre-patch launches and Death Knights, Inscription, fresh servers, along with those Wrath talent trees and abilities and scaling will be available. And we know this for certain because Brian Birmingham, WoW Classic lead, said that we will be getting at least 4 to 6 weeks of pre-patch, so we have a month to a little over a month until pre-patch launches. It is all virtually guaranteed that pre-patch will be available in August, end of August at the latest. Now today we're going to be talking about 13 ways you can prepare for Wrath of the Lich King, which is right around the corner at this point. Now whether you're bored or you're not sure the best way to prepare, I'm going to give you a bunch of ideas that hopefully can make time go by a little faster as you prepare for pre-patch. Now, number 1, professions. I have gone ahead myself and prepared the materials needed for getting your profession up. There are lots of professions you can get prepared for ahead of time. You can in fact level mining by smelting, whether you're preparing it for a Death Knight, preparing it for maybe your main character who right now is mining and you want to hold on to that for a little bit but then drop it, and then you'd have all the materials ready for that other profession once you drop mining or herbalism or whatever you plan on dropping, right? You can prepare all the materials beforehand in preparation for a different profession. So one thing you could do to prepare is to stockpile those materials, whether you buy it with gold or go out and gather it yourself. That is tip number 1. Now tip number 2 is you can also prepare quest items. Now if you're going to make a Death Knight, this makes a lot of sense. Or if you just want to level a new character, an alt character, there's plenty of quest items that you can go and purchase beforehand and turn in without having to go farm it yourself. There are tons. If you're a Death Knight, you know, there's Badlands quests, there's Zangar quests, you know, unidentified plant parts, bog tendrils. You can purchase all these ahead of time, save your Death Knight some trouble of having to go gather them themselves. All right, tip number 3 is find a guild to go into Wrath with. You know, whether you're playing on a fresh server or on an already existing server, you know, finding a group of friends to go into Wrath is something you can do before the game is even out. There are plenty of guilds recruiting actively for Wrath, or you can also just join any TBC guild. But this is definitely something you can do beforehand. Find that group of friends if you so desire. All right, tip number 4. Gold. Lots and lots of gold is going to be needed in Wrath. I've made a ton of gold videos, and we all know at this point Kirin Tor rings like 8,500, dual spec is 1,000 gold, cold weather flying is 1,000 gold, that mammoth 20,000 gold. It is a purchasable mount that has vendors on it. It'll save you time and gold by purchasing it for 20,000, as you all know. And then, of course, profession materials. If you don't have a gathering profession to get it yourself, you'll have to purchase it. And there are quite a few pricey materials in Wrath. Titan steel bars, that'll be real expensive to purchase. So having gold is going to help, and you can absolutely start working on that beforehand. And I've got plenty of gold guides that you can check out and figure out how you can start getting some gold now sooner than later. And there's some really easy ways too. All right, tip number 5 that you can start working on before Wrath is honor. You can actually start farming honor now sooner than later. Now, you know, don't burn yourself out, of course, you know, but you can absolutely start farming that honor to prepare for purchasing some great PvP gear. I've already done this myself, and then that's going to be very helpful for when you decide to buy that endgame gear. You can even purchase stuff. You don't even have to wait for Wrath. You can just start purchasing honor gear now if you wanted to. But yeah, absolutely, honor is going to be super valuable currency. Of course, if you plan on going the PvP route, get some easy gear. All right, tip number 6. Items that will still be valuable in Wrath. That's right. There's going to be some items that you can farm now and use later, and it's going to be very, very helpful. Now, one is the Flame Cap. Now, this is particularly valuable for Fire Mage. This is an Outland herb, which on use increases fire spell damage by up to 80. And Fire Mage is very good in late game Wrath of the Lich King. And of course, Flame Caps can be farmed right now since it's an Outland herb, and you can stockpile these. They're going to be useful all throughout Wrath of the Lich King, and so could be a good way for you to prepare if you're a Fire Mage, or if you want to make some gold. There's a little hidden tip for you right there. And it'll probably go up in value, I believe, over time, because there will be less people farming it, because Outland will be the sort of, that was the zone of yesterday, right? There's also Nightmare Seed. This is an Outland herb. Increases health by 2,000 for 30 seconds on use. Going to be very valuable, still used in Wrath as well. I imagine this will also go up in value. There's also Large Brilliant Shards, Pristine Black Diamonds, primarily used for Chandrila rep turn-ins. There's a new achievement in Wrath called The Insane, which is actually a title. And you get this achievement by getting Exalted Reputation with a number of very difficult factions to gain reputation for, one of them being Chandrila. And you'll need those Large Brilliant Shards, those Pristine Black Diamonds, and so these will definitely go up in value, and you can farm these beforehand. Probably gonna want to hold on to them and sell them once Wrath releases for those insane players who seek out the insane title. Now, profession materials, of course, will go up in value. I would definitely say mining, because jewel crafting and engineering are widely considered best in slot professions. However, let's not overlook herbalism, because inscription requires herbs, right? Inscription mills herbs, which is like disenchanting them for their components. And you use that ink basically from herbs to create scrolls, tomes, etc., Dark Moon cards. It's very cool inscription. And so I would say all profession materials are going to increase in price, especially because with each expansion there's gold inflation. So you can certainly count on things going up in price. So hold on to your herbs until pre-patch, and once inscription's in the game, I would slowly list them on the auction house. Try to max out the amount, as most profit as you can, because certainly, once again, inflation, prices will steadily increase, I believe. And of course, bags for an alt character. You could absolutely start working on, getting your bags ready. Bags can be expensive if you're going for those mooncloth bags. It's like 20 slot bag, right? It's probably like 400 gold. It's on Benediction. You could also just get the 18 slot. It's pretty good cost to value ratio. That's the imbued netherweave. Or you could just get the netherweave bag, the budget option, economy. If you break down the gold to bag slot ratio, the netherweave bag is the most cost effective. You're getting the most bags slots at the cheapest gold price. Imbued netherweave, though, you're getting just a couple extra, 2 more bag slots, right? But you're paying quite a bit for that. But depends what you're looking for. I'd say imbued netherweave is a good middle ground between expensiveness and cost. Max out your bank bag slots with these bags. Plenty of stuff you can do to maximize with bags. Get all your alts bags, get your bank bags, buy a bunch of bags. All right, tip number 7. Mounts. You can start working on mounts. This means farming reputation in some cases, right? There's plenty of mounts to be earned, and that's due to an achievement. People are going to be going after these. Mount no mounts, right? Everyone's trying to get 100 mounts, and this does involve, getting exalted with your Azeroth factions. If you're Horde, you're going to get exalted with Orgrimmar to get all 4 different wolves, or actually there's probably like 6, right, or 8. Couple normal speed, couple epic ones. There's also Outland factions though too, right? If you're Alliance the Kurenai, you can get the Talbuk. Or if you are trying to get that Shatari Skyguard rep for that Nether Ray, or the Netherwing, trying to get the Nether Drake. So there's plenty of things that you could be working on. Most importantly of all, when talking about mounts, I should mention the Amani Warbear will not be available from pre-patch onward, making it a very, very highly sought after mount. If you do not have it yet and you want it, go get it before pre-patch. Time is ticking. You have, like 4 to 6 weeks until it's gone. So I would highly recommend you check that out. Get it if you can, if you want it. All right, other than mounts, there's also pets. People are very much looking for pets right now. I've seen so many people in the world openly farming for them, for rare pets, whether that's the Azure Dragonling pet or the disgusting Oozling. These sell for thousands of gold on Benediction, and they're in high demand, and people collect them. There's also reputation pets. Sporegar reputation gets you a pet. So you can absolutely start seeking those out and trying to collect them all. All right, number 9, we have achievement preparation. Now, there's certain achievements that, old BB, Brian Birmingham, told us that will not be backdated. That basically means that if you did the achievement in TBC, it's not going to be counted in Wrath. There's a couple of them. And we know that this is confirmed for the holidays, the holiday achievements. So don't worry about those too much because they're not going to be counted. You're going to have to do the full year if you want that Violet Proto Drake from the achievement, What a Long Strange Trip It's Been. But you can work on something like Lore Master, right? Doing all the quests in each zone, exploring each zone. You absolutely can go fishing, catch the 16-pound catfish, go to the enemy capital, work on the Salty achievement, right? Salty. And, go fishing in their capital. There's certain achievements you can start working on and preparing for. And you can absolutely look up those achievements online and figure out what you need to do. All right, tip number 10. This is a little different because a lot of these achievements or tips are for, players who are going to continue and not play fresh. Now, if you're on a fresh server, these are going to apply to you. You could absolutely work on deciding what class to play. If you haven't done that yet, plenty of class picking guides out there. And also deciding on what professions you want to go with that class that you are picking. Now, personally, I have a spreadsheet. I'm like, okay, I want to make a paladin. He's going to be a blacksmith and a miner. I'm going to have a druid who's a herbalist and an alchemist, right? And so just listing out your plans could be super helpful to know what you want to do beforehand. Get really excited about it, honestly. I like being like, oh man, I can't wait to make this tune, do this, how many characters you want to have, this is something you can plan out beforehand. All right, tip number 11. You can also plan out your leveling path. Your dungeon grinding, questing, are you just going to grind mobs? What's the plan? And, especially for, high population servers, having a good plan could make you, could make it a lot more enjoyable, right? You don't get stuck never being able to tag a mob or a quest. And so this is it's a good thing to plan out beforehand. Tip number 12, planning out what to do once you hit max level. One of my last videos I just actually went through, what to do to get pre-raid bis once you hit max level. Reputation grinding, well farming heroics. Maybe you're going to take the PvP route and start the battleground grind. Try to figure out for you what the plan is so you can hit the ground running once you hit max level. Personally, I'm probably going to start spamming those heroics and doing my dailies for sure. Get the dailies going. And then tip number 13, and this one is not so much for fresh, but if you're not on a fresh server, gear up, because the better gear you have going into Wrath, the faster you will progress. So, whatever your method, whether it's GDKP on Sunwell Plateau, or if you're going to go do the old MS over off spec, or perhaps it will be some soft reserve, or maybe PvP. The hard way. Honor grind. Gear up beforehand if you can. Try to get some good gear to help speed up your progress in Northrend. Hope these tips were helpful. If they were, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more. My name's Toyhouze, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.